Good morning students, Sairam. In today's mathematics revision session, we are going to discuss some of the important problems from chapter number 6 integers, chapter 7 fraction, chapter 8 decimals. So let's see what is the first problem. Find the solution of the following additions using a number line. So we have to add the given integers using a number line. So first one is negative 3 plus positive 5. So for negative 3 from 0 we move towards left 3 steps, and from negative 3 from minus 3 we move towards right 5 steps since it is positive 5. And where do we reach? We reach at 2. So the answer for this is negative 3 plus positive 5 is equal to positive 2. So positive 2 is the answer for this problem. Next one, negative 5 plus negative 2. For negative 5 we move from 0 towards left 5 steps. And where do we reach? We reach at negative 5 or minus 5. Now since it is negative 2, we have to add negative 2. So from negative 5 again we move 2 steps towards left. And where do we reach? We reach at minus 7 or negative 7. So the solution for this one is negative 5 plus negative 2 is equal to negative 7. Let's move on to the next one. How many integers are there between negative 9 and negative 2? So what are the integers between negative 9 and negative 2? They are negative 8, negative 7, negative 6, negative 5, negative 4 and negative 3. That means there are 6 integers between negative 9 and negative 2. Now next problem is calculate 1 minus 2 plus 3 minus 4 plus 5 minus 6 plus 7 minus 8 plus 9 minus 10. To solve this one, what we do? We bring together all the positive integers and we bring together all the negative integers and add them. So the sum of all the positive integers is 25, positive 25, and the sum of all the negative integers is negative 30. Now 25 minus 30 becomes negative 5. So the answer for this is negative 5 or minus 5. Now next problem is the sum of two integers is 47. If one of the integers is negative 24, find the other. So we have the sum of negative 24 and a number as 47. So we have to find out the other integer. So the sum, since the sum is 47, the other integer will be obtained by subtracting negative 24 from 47. So we have done this here, 47 minus negative 24. Now two negative signs will give us a positive sign. So it becomes 47 plus 24. And what do we get? We get 71. So the other integer is 71. Coming to the next problem, there are 3 short questions here. The integer with negative sign is always less than 0. A is the correct option for this. And an integer with a positive sign is always greater than 0. An integer with negative sign is always less than 0, and an integer with positive sign is always greater than 0. Next question is the successor of the predecessor of negative 50 is, we have 4 options here. Now what will be the predecessor of negative 50? The predecessor of negative 50 will be negative 51. Now the successor of negative 51 will be negative 50. So the answer for this is negative 50. Option C is the correct answer for this. Option C is the correct answer. Now moving on to the next problem. The temperature of a city is 2 degrees Celsius. Next day the temperature falls by 5 degrees Celsius. What is the temperature of the city the next day? Now since the temperature falls by 5 degrees Celsius, it will be 5 less than 2 degrees Celsius. So 5 to less than 2 degrees Celsius will be negative 3 degrees Celsius. So option B is the correct answer for this question. Next problem, it is from fractions, the chapter number 7, fractions. The fraction which is not equal to 4 upon 5 is, we have 4 options here. So we have to find out the fraction which is not equal to 4 upon 5. We can see the first option is equal to 4 upon 5, isn't it? And second option is also equal to 4 upon 5, as when we divide both the numerator and the denominator by 3, we get 4 upon 5. C is, again it is 4 upon 5, isn't it? When we divide both the numerator and the denominator by 4, we get 4 upon 5. Now option D is the correct answer. This is not equal to 4 upon 5. This fraction when divided by 3, that means when the numerator and the denominator both divided by 3, what do we get? We get 3 upon 5. So D is the correct option for this question. The fraction which is not equal to 4 upon 5 is D, 9 upon 15. Now next question. When 1 upon 4 is written with denominator as 12, what will be the numerator? Its numerator will be, we have 4 options given. So since 1 upon 4, how do we get the numerator 12? We get the numerator 12 by multiplying the fraction by both the numerator and denominator by 3, isn't it? So what will be the numerator? It will be 3 when we have the denominator as 12. So option A is the correct answer for this question. Option A is the correct answer. Let's move on to the next problem. Which of the following fractions is the greatest? We have 4 options given here. So what are the fractions we have? They are 5 upon 7, 5 upon 6, 5 upon 9 and 5 upon 8. So all the fractions have the same numerator. So which one will be the greatest one? If the numerators are same, then the fraction with smaller denominator will be the greatest. That means the fraction 5 upon 6 is the greatest one. Let's move on to the next problem. Which of the following decimals is the greatest? So what we have to do? We have to find the greatest decimal here. So we have 4 options. First one is 0.182, next one is 0.0925, third C is 0.29 and D is 0.038. So first what we have to do? First we have to convert given decimals as like decimals. That means they should have same number of digits after the decimal point. So when we turn them into like fractions, what do we get? We get 0.1820, 0.0925, 0.2900 and 0.0380. So when we compare them, what do we find? We find that 0.2900 is the greatest among the given decimals. So the answer for this is the option C. Option C is the correct answer. This is the greatest. C is the greatest decimal. That means 0.29 is the greatest decimal. Next problem. The decimal 0.238 is equal to the fraction. We have 4 options. What we have to do? We have to convert the given decimal as fraction. So how can we convert that into fraction? We can write 0.238 as 238 upon 1000. When we divide both the numerator and the denominator by 2, what do we get? We get 119 upon 500. So What will be the correct answer option for this? It is 119 upon 500. That means option A is the correct answer. Option A is the correct answer for this question. 0.238 is equal to the fraction 119 upon 500. Let's move on to the next problem. The fraction represented by the shaded portion in the adjoining figure is 3 upon 8. So is it true or false? Now the total number of parts given in the figure are 8 and the shaded part are 3. So the required fraction is 3 upon 8. So yes, this is correct. This is true. This represents the fraction 3 upon 8. Next question. Ali divided one fruit cake equally among 6 persons. What part of the cake he gave to each person? So he divided one cake into 6 equal parts. So Ali gave each person 1/6 part of the cake. Next question. What should be added to 25.5 to get 50? So according to the question, 25.5 plus what is equal to 50, isn't it? To get the answer, what we should do? We should subtract 25.5 from 50. So when we subtract 25.5 from 50, what do we get? We get 24.5. So the required number is 24.5. Next question. Alok purchased 1 kg 200 grams potatoes, 250 grams dhania, 5 kg 300 grams onions, 500 grams palak and 2 kg 600 grams tomatoes. Find the total weight of his purchases in kilograms. So what we have to do? Whatever purchases he has done, we have to add them. So he purchased potatoes 1 kg 200 grams, that means 1.200 kilograms. Now dhania is 250 grams, that means it is 0.250 kilograms. Onions 5 kilograms, 300 grams means it is 5.300 kilograms. Palak is 500 grams, that means it is 0.500 kilograms. And what is the weight of tomatoes? It is 2 kg 600 grams, that means 2.600 kilograms. Now what will be the total weight of his purchases? We will arrange the weight of the different vegetables in columns and add them. When we add them, what do we get? We get total weight as 9.850 kilograms. So the total weight of vegetables is 9.850 kilograms. Moving on to the next problem. Mary bought 1/2 meter of lace. She used 1/3/4 meter of lace for her new dress. How much lace is left with her? So what is the length of lace she bought? It is 1/2 meters. That means it is 7/2 meters. Now lace used by Mary is 1/3/4. So when it is converted, the mixed fraction is converted into improper fraction, we get 7/4 meters. That is the lace used by Mary. So what is the length of lace that is left with her? It is 7/2 meters minus 7/4 meters. So what do? We find the LCM of 2 and 4. So we convert 7/2 into equivalent fraction so that the denominator becomes 4. So what do we get? We get 14/4 minus, we get 14/4 minus 7/4. So when we do the subtraction, what do we get? We get 7/4 as the result. So the length of lace that is left with Mary is 7/4 meters. We can convert this improper fraction as a mixed fraction. Then it will be 1/3/4 meter of lace that is left with her. Next problem. Nazir travelled 1/2 kilometers in bus and walked 1/8 kilometers to reach a town. How much did he travel to reach the town? So what we have to do? We have to add the kilometers he travelled by bus and the length of the that means the way he walked, that also we have to add. So Nazir travelled by bus is 1/3.5 kilometers or 1/2, that means 7/2 kilometers. And how much he walked? It is 1/8 kilometers, that means it is 9/8 kilometers. Now the total distance travelled by him is 7/2 kilometers plus 9/8 kilometers. Now we multiply this fraction 7/2 by 4, both the denominator and numerator by 4, to get the denominator as 8, because LCM of 2 and 8 is 8. So what do we get? We get 28/8 plus 9/8. When we do the addition, what do we get? We get 37/8 kilometers, which can be converted into mixed fraction. What do we get? 5/8 kilometers as the total distance he travelled. Children, with this problem, I end this revision session. Thank you.